Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back for another DevPro Duel video. Again, a cross-format duel between two kinda OTK, FTK based decks. The first deck list you see here is called Empty Jar, Cyber Jar, OTK slash FTK. It's a little bit different from a regular empty jar deck based around Morphing Jar 1, where you use Book of Tayu, Book of Moon to put your Morphing Jar into face down position, face up thanks to Book of Tayu with Shallow Grave and so on. This is a deck list I found on my old PC. One of the decks I played in the early days. I believe this was from 2005. So you had, back then Morphing Jar was an ultra rare in Tournament Pack 2 and also super rare in Tournament Pack 4. So it was very expensive. And this kind of deck based around Cyber Jar was a bit more cheap, a bit more casual play. But yeah, both decks work very similar, both versions work very similar. The point was to take out your opponent, and this version was based around Cyber Jar. And of course card destruction and serial spell, as you will see in the video, as you will see in the duels. Make your opponent's hand size very big, at around 15 to 20 cards, and activate card destruction together with serial spell to make them deck out. The second deck list you see here is called Last Turn, also a very nostalgic deck back in 04, 05 I believe. It's very simple. If you know Last Turn, you can only activate Last Turn if you have 1k life points or less, so that's why you're playing Maul of Revealing Light, to put your life points as low as possible. And at the same time, stall. Your opponent can't attack with those monsters. And at the moment when you activate Last Turn, you target one monster on your side of the field, preferably of course Yogun, and then all the cards sent to the graveyard except your monster, and then your opponent gets the chance to special summon a monster from their deck, I believe. And depending on the attack points between both monsters, the winner will be picked. But as you know, Yogun the Spiritualist prevents your opponent from special summoning monsters, so if you activate Last Turn and you control face up Yogun, you pretty much instantly win the duel, because your opponent can't special summon. So it's again very easy. It works very similar to the last deck we saw. Again, Cat of Ill Omen to search out a trap card from your deck. Anyway, let's see some duels. Okay, so the first game, I think I get to start. The point of the deck, as you know, is of course to deck out your opponent. If you open with Cyber Jar, the deck basically plays itself. You play a lot of draw cards, and thanks to Book of Tayu, you can flip over one face down monster inside the field. And thanks to the Shallow Grave, pretty much a monster reborn that special summons a monster from your grave and your opponent's grave back into defense position, face down defense position. The small downside is that your opponent needs to have a monster in their grave, so that's why you're playing cards like Drag Down into the Grave, to have the opportunity to discard an opponent's monster and have the Shallow Grave, at least make your Shallow Grave live. And here is pretty much a combo. You activate card destruction, followed up with serial spell, so your opponent needs to draw cards with the first card destruction, discards everything again, and then the serial spell activates, copying your card destruction. Again, the opponent discards the same amount of cards they have in the hand, and again, they pretty much deck out. So that's game over right there. Very degenerate, of course, very degenerate combo. Then my turn, so Drag Down into the Grave, discard this only monster that makes the Shallow Grave live. Again, have that Cyber Jar, and thanks to spell reproduction and Phoenix, Feather the Phoenix, I have to say, you can recycle your Book of Tayus, your Shallow Graves, again to reborn your Cyber Jar, fill up your opponent's hand to the point where they have a lot of cards, so you can card destruction, serial spell for gain, as you saw in the last duel. So again, it's pretty much the same. Book of Tayu on your Cyber Jar, reveal the 5 cards. If you have any monsters that can be special summoned, or at least that can be normal summoned, they will be normal summoned or set. It does have Yogun, which prevents me from activating my Shallow Grave, but in this case it doesn't really matter. I think he has like 15 cards in his hand. So the moment where I activate card destruction, yeah, indeed. So card destruction, chain serial spell, because it's a quick play spell. Discard all my cards in my hand due to serial spells cost, and my opponent again deck out. So game over. I get to start. I think he gets to start indeed with Swords of Revealing Light. He sets the Cyber Jar. I thought, okay, it's probably a Cat of Ill Omen. Otherwise, I would have tied his face on, of course. I completely brick, so don't open with the jar. No Mystic Tomato, no Sangen. Of course, yeah, in this kind of matchup, the Mystic Tomatoes are dead since he obviously does not attack. But that's why you play Mystic Tomato, Sangen to draw into your Cyber Jar. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as this kind of deck. He draws into multiple cards, gets his engine going, and yeah, he needs 3 cards. He needs the Yogun, which he plays 3 of. He needs his Wall of Revealing Light to drop him below 1k life points. And of course also the last turn, and yeah, together with Solemn Judgment, multiple Solemn Judgment, you pretty much make sure that your opponent does not have the out to your Yogun lock. Yeah, he activates Reload. I think he needs a wall. Yeah, indeed. Activates multiple upstarts. Yeah, I think he already has a wall set. Sets the Solemn Judgment just in case if I have an out. He activates Wall of Revealing Light, pays 8,000 life points, drops him to 1k. I chain Book of Moon to the Yogun, so I'm able to special summon a monster, but I'm not sure if I have a target left in my deck. But yeah, there is a Judgment to stop that, and yeah, due to his Yogun, I'm not able to special summon a monster, so he instantly wins the game. That's how it was with last turn. I get to start. Have the Sangen, my opening hand is very good, but then again he does not attack, so my Sangen is kinda useless, and yeah, he has his engine going. And it's basically game over. Again, he activates his Tayu, flips over a jar, chains his Book of Moon, very good move. And yeah, that's pretty much the difference between the regular Morphing Jar, Empty Jar, FTK deck. You recycle through your deck, replenish your hand with Morphing Jar. That's the difference with Cyber Jar, drawing, or at least revealing 5 new cards every time, add them to their hand. So I make use of his own Morphing Jar, and I brick. Again, 2 useless Book of Moons, have double Mystic Tomato, isn't really helpful in this kind of matchup. He flips over his Yogun, and that's, yeah, he has 2 Yoguns face up on the field with a Wall of Revealing Light setup. It doesn't really matter if I Book of Moon on the chain link of Wall of Revealing Light, since he always has had Solemn Judgment to block one of my Book of Moons. And again, he wins the game with his Yogun. Yeah, anyway, I can't really say that it's a good game, but that's how, yeah, both decks work. Very degenerate. Then, as soon as you have your Cyber Jar, the deck pretty much plays itself out. It's very easy, very simple. You have your Cyber Jar, every time reveal 5 new cards, and thanks to spell reproduction, thanks to the Shallow Grave, Book of Tayu, you can recycle through your deck and give your opponent a huge hand size, and then follow it up with card destruction and serial spell. So again, flip over the jar, reveal 5 new cards. There is the card destruction already. I'm not sure if I have a spell reproduction left, although yeah, activate the Shallow Grave again, special summon both the jar and the Yogun. Activate the Feather of the Phoenix, so I can draw into the Tayu thanks to card destruction. Flip over the jar, activate or at least reveal a spell reproduction, and there is a serial spell. So this is game over. Also, he needs to pick up 5 new cards. So activate spell reproduction, get back my card destruction, and follow it up with card destruction serial spell. Game over. Very cheap. I get to start. I think. Yeah, open with double Thunder Dragon. Very terrible. So activate reload. Maybe I should have set my card destruction here. Draw into Cyber Jar. Again, basically game over. I think he ends up scooping here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. As soon as you draw into your Cyber Jar, it's pretty much game over. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Both decks very degenerate for their time. We have multiple deck lists, multiple versions of this kind of Empty Jar deck, Cyber Jar deck, with or without Morphing Jar, with Needleworms, with the Mallets, with Toon Table of Contents, search out your Toon Cannon Soldier, thin your deck. So really don't mind the deck build. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Have a very Merry Christmas, of course. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Litem signing out. Peace.